We made a move at the quarterback position to go with Jaxson. I'm excited for Jaxson and his opportunity. He's been preparing for this, putting together a great week of practice, so I'm excited for him. Russ has been nothing but a pro. It's never easy to get in that situation, but he's a great teammate. He's a captain of our team, and the leadership he possesses, and it feeds through the rest of the team. So he's done a really good job with managing that, handling that. He's a competitor. I know he wants to be out there, but I know he's also going to help the team and do what's best for the team. And again, I just can't emphasize how excited I am for Jaxson, his opportunity. I know Dave's kind of expressed his decision to make it, and I fully support it, and I'm right there with him, and excited for Jaxson. So it's really all I have to say on that matter and situation. So if there's anything else you have on the Chargers and the task at hand there, then I'm open.
What tells you that Jaxson is ready for this?
Yeah, you just see it on a daily basis, the preparation. You saw him in the meeting rooms, you see him on the practice field doing the scout team reps, and you can really take a lot from that, just how he's operating as a leader on the team and in the huddle. So, you obviously got to go out there and play. He did it in the preseason. Now it's the regular season, so every single level, things start speeding up and ramping up for him. But, he's been very productive as a player, and I'm excited to go, see him, let him go out there and roll it.
Is there a tangible difference for you as a play caller on Sunday, calling plays for a guy who's never made an NFL start versus a guy who's been in the league 14 years?
You're certainly mindful of that. I've been in that position before as a rookie, and so you understand kind of what that approach is, kind of the lead up to the game, the first play, the first quarter. I remember starting my first game in high school and my first game in college, and getting in the mix as an NFL player as well. So I know what that feeling's like. So yeah, absolutely, I have some experience in that. And having dealt with a rookie quarterback before, and and kind of the ebbs and flows of what happens in a game. So I think giving him the stuff that he knows, he likes, and then just let him go out there and play ball.
What is he like in the meeting room, Jaxson? What is he like in the meeting rooms,
as it pertains to
asking questions, etc.?
Oh yeah, he's very attentive. He's just one of the guys that's in there. He's learning. He's asking great questions. He spends a lot of time after extra, trying to answer some stuff, so he doesn't kind of hold down the meeting sometimes, but he's all about the extra work. He's looking to kind of get some clues and any kind of tips and things that he can get from the veteran guys or from the coaches. So he does a great job in the meeting room.
Like, why was it such a challenge to get Malik the ball against the Chiefs on Sunday?
Yeah, they did a nice job. Hats off to them. They did a nice job of give him a couple different looks. I think we can do a better job as a staff of just getting him more involved. And I thought you saw Slay had a couple opportunities. The backs ended up being underneath, and I know Scott had a bunch of targets and catches. Sometimes those games kind of declare like that, so you got to be able to adjust. I think in the second half we kind of opened it up a little bit, and whether it was the call or whether it was just where the ball went, just didn't find him. But obviously Malik, you want to be able to have him in the front of your mind in terms of getting in the football. So we got to have a good plan and a better plan for that as we go move forward.
Mike, when you had Mahomes, I'm curious, for his first start, what was that kind of like, getting him ready for that first start? I think it was 2017, was it?
It was in 2017. It was one of the last games of the regular season. And so, yeah, I mean, he had the same approach, like whether it was week 1 or week 16, week 17, like he kept on working through his routine, and worked how, the game plan and how he saw it and how he built it, his favorites, his thoughts, his likes, because, they're different. He was different than Alex, and so he had different favorite plays than Alex did. And that's fine. Just like Jaxson and Jameis and Russ, they all have different plays that they really like and really know. And so I know as a coordinator putting together the plan with the staff, it's like, all right, well, what stuff is he really good at? What stuff does he like? And then how can we dress it up and how can we match it up to make him feel good about the plays?
With that being said,
to follow up on that with Jaxson, obviously, do you see a similar, I think you just said it, but do you see that similar temperament, I guess, with, I know different people at Mahomes' first game, Stark's first game, just their approach, like, okay, here we go, let's get ready. Do you see a similar temperament?
Yeah, it just all starts with the open lines of communication between whether it's play call, the head coach, the quarterback coach, and then the players. So, open lines of communication. I like this. Hey, add this. This would really help me with this motion, or hey, this is our vision for this play and why we have it set up this way. So anytime you can open up those lines of communication, that's going to make everyone better.
So he gives suggestions for what he likes to you?
Oh, absolutely. And every quarterback does. And excuse me. Every quarterback does. So it's just, when you have the quarterback room that we have, and they're so dynamic and they're so verbal, it's really great as a coach because you get in, they're always talking ball, always talking about different ideas. So, I mean, that room does a great job in general, and Jaxson has done a great job too in terms of, this week.
With that being said, how different do you expect the offense to look, right? Because he has different strengths, different weaknesses, different plays that he likes. It looked different, to be honest, in the preseason. A lot more RPO, like zone read type of stuff. Like, is it going to be, in your opinion, how different does it look?
Yeah, I think there'll be certain elements of just things that Jaxson has done well, whether he was in college or in high school. You want to fit the system to that player, any player, really to what their strengths are. So I think Jaxson is going to do a nice job, and we'll put together a plan that he can work with.
At some point,
Thank you.
At some point, either you have already or before 1 o'clock, will you, Jaxson, I'm sure you will run the ball some with Jaxson, and then, we've seen him in the summer take hits and sometimes slide and sometimes not slide. Will you ever say to him, look, we need you in the game, you need to finish the game, you need to be careful, even though we want you to be aggressive?
Yeah, I mean, he's an aggressive player, so when he's on the field, he's going to, it's hard to take away that part of his game. I think he's got to be smart. I think he knows that. Taking hits in preseason and just getting hit in general. He did it in college. I know he's a tough player. It's a different level here, obviously, but he's a smart player, and I trust he'll make the right decision.
Any concern about the limited reps that he's had with Malik and Mondale and everybody else?
Yeah, they'll have to get on the same page. And that's a good thing about when we meet after practice. We're all in the same room. We watch all the same tape. Receivers are talking, quarterbacks are talking. So there's a dialogue there that at least allows you to be on the same page in terms of seeing it the same way. So when we get on the practice field, there'll be some catching up to do, but that's real. And I think the guys have been doing a good job of trying to get as much as they can.
A few of the guys have talked about Jackson's swagger. Where do you see that in the media room, on the field, when you're kind of working with him one-on-one?
Jaxson has a lot of confidence. I think that's good. That's what you want in the quarterback room. That's what you want in a quarterback. Swagger, confidence, I think they're kind of one and the same, how you want to define it. I just think Jaxson has that. All the guys in our quarterback room have that. I think, a lot of guys on our team have that swagger, confidence in themselves. It's hard to play at this level if you don't have that. So, you're talking about the best of the best. And so I like our room. I like where our guys' minds are at. They're focused on today. And I think that's the best approach.
Have you seen Russ handle him being benched?
Yeah, I've seen it. Again, like I said earlier, I think he's handled it about as well as you can as for being a leader. And again, that's not hard. It's not easy for someone to do that. And so, I feel for him, and I think, he's going to continue to be a great leader and a great person in the room and help Jaxson as best you can. I know he came out and said that yesterday. I think that's true. And that's real. And that's the kind of guy he is. And that's why we wanted him here.
Mike, what is calling tempo like as a coordinator? Do you build certain calls ahead of time? Like, if we get 7 yards on second down, Jaxson knows the play already, or are you just getting the calls in quicker?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, I think there's a little bit of both. I think there's some anticipatory things that we can set up during the week. I think a lot of times, because you really don't know what's going to happen until the play's over. Like, he might catch it for 5, but break it for 20, So there's, but a lot of time it's just getting in quicker to him, so that he can play and, have a lot more time on the shot clock for him to go operate at the line of scrimmage. If we end up doing that, if there's elements, he did that in college. We've done that in the past here with whoever was playing quarterback. Like, we've done it with Russ at times too. So, I think there's an element of that. We saw in the preseason, we're able to test it. I think our guys are comfortable with it, but it's just a matter of, getting it to them a little bit quicker, give them some more information on maybe alert or an adjustment that we need to do at the line of scrimmage. But using all that shot clock, if you can, in a no huddle situation, is what's important.